Yes, people, what's going on? This is the Club Calling Show brought to you by Sky Bet. We are back. I absolutely love doing these. And remember, if you want to be involved, just like the callers have today, then hit that link in the description, join our Discord, and it could be you in the next call-in. Right, let's get stuck into these calls.
Now, this should be very interesting because we're about to speak to Joel Glazer, a Manchester United fan. Joel, how are you?
Oh, how's it going, guys?
It's going very well, thank you.
Good, how are you?
Yeah, good.
Where are you calling from, Joel?
Melbourne.
Wow. What time is it there?
I was the 2 a.m. Oh, well, 3 a.m. now.
Oh, mate, that is dedication for you. All that, staying up late to talk to Buvey.
God, must be a big question.
I was the one that was the starter of the Kante thing a couple of weeks ago. So.
Oh, yeah, when
nice.
you got, yeah, that was you did
Thought
very
I
well there,
recognised.
Joel. Well, it's great to speak to you again. You're not overly impressed with Alejandro Garnacho, I'm hearing.
No, I do think he's a good player. I just think it makes a lot of sense to sell him now, purely because if you have a look at the position he's playing in, when Ahmad was fit, he was playing there, and you didn't really see Garnacho get all too many starts or even that long off the bench in some cases. And we've also seen that Cunha's been linked to us very heavily for quite a while, and I feel like when that's the case, we usually end up signing the player. For example, Bruno, we was kind of linked to him throughout 2 different transfer windows and finally got him. And then I think you finally got Mount that's fit. So you kind of got Mount, Xerxes, potentially Cunha.
Cunha?
I don't think we get Cunha, no. And I also think Manchester, I know this isn't the conversation. I'm not comparing the two players either. I think Cunha is fantastic. But the money it would cost us to bring him to Old Trafford, it's just not worth. We need to steer clear of trying to lump 80, 90 million on one signing and try and get down to signing sign Cunha before he joins Wolves. Make those kind of signings rather than. But I kind of see where you're coming from. In terms
Adam,
of
you're so wrong. No. You go and get Cunha now. Man United,
Nah, I don't want
when Man United were good, would have gone and got Cunha now.
Oh, I don't feel like
but,
I want him.
but
They
you
can't
didn't
afford
sign.
to,
You
can
didn't
they?
sign Dwight York before he went to Villa,
Yeah,
did you?
but we had a much better squad and we were in a much better position where we just needed one or two players.
But what you can't
We
do
need
is
a
take
whole
punts.
squad right now. What
you can't do if you're Man United now. What you can't do is take punts on the next Cunha.
A lot of
You
players
need-
that we've signed weren't particularly punts at the time, and they've.
Rasmus
they've been-
Højlund was a punt.
they
Joshua
look it.
Xerxes was a punt. What you need to do is you need to go and sign a best-in-class player and pay the big bucks for them.
I
Do you
don't
know why
if-
Declan
I don't know
Rice?
if Cunha's the guy that I'll be splashing most of our budget on
Okay,
in
fine.
the summer.
Cunha's an interchangeable name.
Yeah.
But the point that I'm making, I believe, stands. If you're Manchester United and you're to get to the level that you expect Manchester United to be at, no more Højlund. Kane's.
I agree with you on that, but I'm saying the Cunha thing for me feels like Wolves aren't going down. He's going to cost a lot of money. He just signed a new deal at the club. United have to steer clear of lumping 90 million on some guy who's had a season or two.
He does have a 62.5 million
Does he?
release clause,
All right,
apparently.
fair.
Apparently.
Fair. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's still a lot of money.
I've seen better.
Yeah, it is. No doubt.
Mateus Nunes came from Wolves.
Do you think he's better than Cunha?
Yeah.
They were in similar ballparks, right? Like, I think Cunha's probably a better player, of course he is. But Mateus Nunes was really highly rated at Wolves. People forget that.
No, he
City
was,
spent
yeah.
50 million quid on him. Now he's a right back for Man City. Man United need a lot more work than that, don't they? They need.
Yeah, but your point on Garnacho is more based on we've got players in his position. He's not going to be Amorim's first choice, right?
Correct. I do think that his stock is high because he has been playing and he's done well. And I don't think, for the record, that he's going to end up a bad player or anything like that. I just think over the next couple of seasons, he might not be used as much, and potentially getting someone else new. It doesn't have to be Cunha, for example, but someone else new that will be used more.
I can see where you're coming from. I mean,
could improve the team. Yeah.
Me personally, I'm against selling your best young players, but I don't feel as passionately about Garnacho as I do about Kobbie Mainoo. But the one thing I do find a bit harsh on Garnacho, he's had a bad season. He's been poor this season, don't get me wrong. But like the 2 seasons before that, he was pretty good for Manchester United. And everyone seems to have just forgotten that. Like, he scored a goal in a cup final, helpless win, and he's still a very young player. He scored one of the best goals I've ever seen in my life. Like, a player that can do those things, you should probably be keeping a hold of. But then you look at our PSR issues, we need to bring money in to buy and all those kind of things. You might be on the right lines in terms of what happens this summer. But it would be a little
I'd,
bit
I-
sad.
I'd also say Rasmus Højlund had a half decent season last year, and that's all forgotten about because he has had such a poor season.
He
this
just seems to
season.
have fallen off a cliff, though, doesn't he? Like he's
Yeah,
doing crazy
yeah.
things. Like one of the runs he made the other week at the weekend, I was just baffled with it. Like I couldn't get my head around why he didn't just stay in the middle of the box and wait for the ball to come across. And he makes those kind of decisions far too often. I don't think United's the best place for a striker in terms of the chances we create, but he's doing the basics a lot worse than he was last year.
Yeah, no, true. And at least someone like Garnacho does get you off your seat.
Even if it is to throw something.
He's very frustrating at times. I feel like over the last month of watching some games, I've been flipping out over him, honestly.
Overall, Joel, how are you feeling about next season for Manchester United?
No, how are you feeling about this season? Are we winning the Europa League or what?
No.
You can't talk.
I honestly have no idea.
We are winning European silver.
There's something about, this is going to freak you out, by the way, but there's something about Ange Postecoglou winning the Europa League and having a European title before Arsenal that makes me happy.
There's
I
nothing.
don't know what it is.
It's not a European. It won't be a European trophy before Arsenal, though.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
In recent years.
Tottenham did win a European trophy before Arsenal, but it won't be this one. But overall, that's not going to happen. Do you think Manchester United can?
I think we can. I don't necessarily think we will. It's definitely a tough road. It's not going to be easy.
You're sitting on a fence, aren't you? I mean, you've got to get off the fence.
No, it's a fair answer.
We'll do it.
You said you don't think we will.
Good work, Jolie and Lescott.
It freaks me out what Adana said about Leon, by the way.
He's an idiot. He's going to throw one in the back of the net.
Yeah.
He's going to throw one in the back of the net after saying we're going to batter them. He's a clown. Can't believe he's done that. I admire the confidence, but just shut your mouth for a minute.
Joel, thank you so much for getting in touch. Give us a bell in a couple of weeks when Man United are launched out the European trophy.
Will do. Thank you, boys.
Can't wait. Good luck, mate. Have a good kip. Ta-da. Right, we're going to move on now to James. All right there, mate.
How are you doing, guys?
Good. How are you?
Great, mate.
I am fantastic.
Are you? What makes you so great then?
I'm off uni for the holidays.
Oh, there we go. There we go. What are your plans? Smoking, drinking, joyriding?
A little bit of drinking.
Very nice.
Lovely weather up here.
Where are you?
I'm in Glasgow.
Glasgow.
Oh.
Very nice. Very nice. And you're a Liverpool fan?
I am indeed, yeah.
Nice. And what's your thoughts on the current generation of players?
So, yeah, I think they've been massively underrated in terms of sort of all-time Premier League conversations. And I've got like three main reasons for that.
Let's hear them then.
Okay, so firstly, I think that the league is stronger relative to other leagues in world football than it was back in the day, especially like sort of the 90s and the mid 2010s after Fergie left. But also even back in sort of the glory days of the 2000s and the mid 2000s. I just think the Premier League in general is stronger compared to La Liga or Serie A or whatever. I also think that generally players in sports science, players are fitter now, they're better technically. And I also think just generally, even if we sort of assume that the league has been the same quality since 92, I think people have just got very few current players or players from the last 10, 15 years in all-time 11s compared to players from 20, 30 years ago.
A lot of it is because they're still playing though, right? So you're much less likely to put a player that's currently playing in your all-time 11. But at the same time, I think, yes, football has improved in terms of the science and the physios and the training and all these kind of different things. But then you can't say that some of these players are better than those players back then, because those players back then would improve given those.
Also, James, I actually completely disagree with you. I feel like the players of this generation are completely over promoted and over celebrated. I think that we're constantly saying that the players that are currently playing today are the best to have ever done it. Trent Alexander-Arnold, the best right-back to have ever lived. Virgil van Dijk, undoubtedly the best centre-half to have ever lived. Mohamed Salah, is he the best Premier League player of all time? I feel like we're having conversation about Sergio Aguero and where he ranks in the pantheon of greats. Kevin De Bruyne, definitely the best midfielder to have ever lived. I think that we're actually quite cynical I think there's a big recency bias. And I think that we're quite cynical about the brilliance of Wayne Rooney and Frank Lampard and Steven Gerrard and Patrick Vieira.
So I agree with you to a point, but I think those are largely like fringe opinions. Like anyone who says Trent's the best right back to play in the PL is just like off their rocker, or stuff like that.
What about Van
But in
Dijk?
terms,
People say it about Van Dijk all the time.
I think it's kind of fair. Look, he's not my goal centre back, but I'd have him in the 11. And same with Salah and De Bruyne. I think people sort of, there's a level of acknowledgement that they get, right? People say like, De Bruyne sits at the table with the greats, or Salah sits at the table with the greats, like Henry or Ronaldo or whatever. But a lot of people, the majority of people, just aren't ever willing to put them over those players or really have those conversations.
Salah isn't ahead of Henry, Ronaldo, anyone. Like he's just not. I don't even think he's ahead of Suarez.
I
for Liverpool, like
totally disagree.
You think Salah, this version of Salah is better than Suarez at Liverpool?
Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
So obviously there's the longevity, but also the consistency of doing it in big games. I mean, he goes away to the Etihad, Old Trafford, Emirates, and he scores. Whereas Suarez, sure, he scored amazing goals and he scored a lot of them, but they were in, against the Norwiches of the world.
It's a much more attacking based football, though, isn't it? Like all teams in the Premier League are trying to play football these days. Luis Suarez and that would have gone up against some teams that just refuse to leave their box. I know you still get that, but you've got the likes of Bournemouth, Brighton, all these teams trying to play football now as well, which kind of helps in terms of there being more goals and things like that in the Premier League at times.
I think that just shows the general increase in quality of the league, though, because the reason that the teams back then didn't play more sort of attacking football is because they didn't have the skill level to. They didn't have the technical ability in the defence or the midfield to cope with the Premier League intensity, whereas almost every team nowadays plays like that or tries to play like that.
So Salah's got a better Premier League legacy and is a better player than Cristiano Ronaldo?
I think so, yeah, based on firstly the longevity, and secondly,
What about the titles?
I think titles is a pretty
Because I can go all day, can't
flawed
I?
way.
I could run a marathon for 10 hours, but the one that runs it in 3.5 hours is better than me, right? Do you know what I mean? Longevity is overrated.
That's true story,
longevity.
isn't it?
Well, it is by a lot of people.
You
Yeah,
said
a
you
lot of people
could run a marathon.
No, that is a
You
true
did run
story.
a marathon in 10 hours.
That's the point, isn't it? If you stay in something for a long time, it doesn't make you the best at it, does it? Like Gareth Barry, no one says he's the best midfielder of all time. He played 750 games, fantastic professional. He was never world class, was he, Gareth Barry?
Also, it's been a long time of coming second or third.
How's Salah win 1 in 8, and that's better than 3 in 3 or 3 in 6? I mean, it's just mental. It's mental. And then you look at him as a player, and you think Salah's nowhere near the technical ability of Cristiano Ronaldo, man. Please.
Yeah, I agree.
I
also
think-
think.
James.
Yeah, I agree. I think.
What do you think to that, James? Buvey said that you don't have a clue.
I mean, I think I get the point, but I think titles is a really poor way to measure individuals, because Cristiano Ronaldo didn't win those titles. Man United did.
So Salah didn't.
Salah
didn't
hasn't
win
won
his
his
title
title
then.
then.
So Salah didn't win his title then.
Okay.
Cristiano Ronaldo was the
Go on.
talisman.
How can it be one rule for one player and not for the other?
James,
It
don't
makes
let
no
him
sense.
twist you up
It
like
makes
this.
no
James,
sense.
get him.
Yeah, you're having a bombastical stinker right now, James.
James,
Come
this is
on,
a bombastic stinker from you. You're going to have to get Buvey.
It's a comparison of Man United 08 versus, I don't know, Liverpool 22, and obviously
But
Man
everyone
United was
said
a better team.
Liverpool was Van Dijk was the greatest. He's better than Rio and Vidic and all these different things.
Okay.
So then what is
Yeah,
it?
but-
Like, is Salah better than Ronaldo and Van Dijk's better
James,
than
can
Rio?
I just ask, as a footballer, okay, because
And Alisson's better than Van der Sar,
titles are very.
apparently.
You can have Matt Letizia was fantastic. He could win a title. He stayed at Southampton, so maybe you're right. It's an abstract concept. As a footballer, what is Ronaldo worse than Salah at?
Scoring goals and creating goals.
Ronaldo's
The
the
two
greatest goal
most
scorer in the
important-
history of football. He's nearly
Yeah, but not in the
1,000
history of the
goals.
Premier League.
Oh, he's got.
Salah scored more Premier League goals.
He stayed longer.
just for being here longer, yeah.
If Ronaldo stayed
scored
the
more
same
in
amount of
his
time,
best
he would have doubled the amount of goals.
But he didn't score more in a single season than Salah.
What, one behind?
But
He's
he won.
one behind.
He scored more in a season where
And what's-
he won the Premier League and the Champions League. The pressure was on from August to May. You know, he performed throughout that from August to May, scoring
if you
big
wanna
goals
include
in the
the
Champions League.
Champions League-
Salah's just got dumped out of the Champions League, dumped out of the League Cup. They're not in the FA Cup anymore. His season's over.
When Salah scored 32, Where did Liverpool finish that season? I know the answer if you don't know. You came
Third. It's fourth, I think.
Fourth. You came fourth. When Ronaldo got 31 goals, PFA Player of the Year, Man United came first. What would you rather have? 31 goals with a title, 32 goals on fourth?
I mean, of course the title is better, but that's not Ronaldo. That's the team.
He scored in the final.
You're not comparing Salah to Ronaldo. You're comparing Man United 07-08 to Liverpool 17-18.
No, I'm saying individual ability to score goals. Ronaldo's one behind in his best ever season in the Premier League, but it led towards a double of a Champions League win and a Premier League win, in which he scored in the final. Salah's never scored in a Champions League final.
Yeah.
He has.
Has he?
scored a penalty.
Non-penalty goals.
Yeah.
Non-penalty goals.
Yeah, non-penalty goals. Quickly change it.
I mean,
James, don't let him do this to you.
James, you know what happened, James?
Ronaldo scored way
Someone
more
had Buvey up earlier. And
Yeah,
he's,
Buvey got twisted up and left.
Who was that? Oh, the postman.
Yeah, yeah, he delivered, boy.
No, but here's the thing with Ronaldo, though. He only went over 20 league goals once in his entire Premier League career.
Because he did it at 20.
Well, yeah,
what
that's
was
the thing.
Salah doing at that age?
Well, he
Stinking
wasn't
joints
in the
out.
league.
He went to Real Madrid because he was the best player in world football. Ronaldo's arguably the greatest player in the
Also,
history of football.
Cristiano Ronaldo won a Ballon
but
d'Or that
I
year.
don't even care about this Man
and
United
he
shithouse.
He took it off Kaka.
He came
was
back, he scored
fighting
18
with Messi.
goals. He came back, he was a geriatric. He scored
Salah's fighting
18
with-
Premier League goals.
With DMs and right backs for a Ballon d'Or and still can't get it. Don't know what's going on.
I mean, look, Salah might win it this year. Maybe not.
nah,
It's
he's not
whatever,
winning it.
but the
It's,
Ballon d'Or's not a
bro,
Premier League award.
them dreams went when you got dumped
Ballon
out of the
d'Or.
Champions League and dumped out their FA Cup, unfortunately.
Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, James, man,
It's been a great call, though,
it's been a
James.
great
Thank
call.
you, mate. Thanks.
But you've let Buvey get one. He's just kind of equalised. Buvey's done well there. It's annoying. James, you'll have to call back. You'll have to call back and come fully loaded and attack him.
Yeah.
I'm sure I will. He's a world-class troll, to be fair to him.
That's what he is. He called you a troll there. That's all you are to him, a troll.
What can I say?
Nothing more. Should we go to Freddie Adu?
Hello?
Yes, mate. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Can you hear me?
No, that's why we're answering you.
Oh, yeah, cheers. Okay. Yeah, I think that Chelsea and City are not going to finish in the Champions League places.
I'm worried.
I think City will.
I can't speak
Freddie.
for Rory.
Do you
but
think
I'd be
Villa
worried.
will? You're a Villa fan, right, Freddie?
Yeah, I'm a Villa fan. I think we'll nick it purely because I don't think Man City can be bothered to finish top four. I don't think their players care enough.
Oh, I think they're desperate for it, don't you?
As you watch the Manchester derby,
No, they weren't that. No, I agree with you. That's a very good point. They weren't desperate in that exact game, but they did get a point out of an away game to Old Trafford, which in the pursuit for top five is probably a good point.
It's not.
yeah,
It's
maybe.
not.
But I just think that we've won 7 in a row, conceded 2 goals in the last 7 games. Newcastle, I think, winning the cup, that'll push them forward.
Mm.
I think Chelsea are definitely going to finish 7th.
No, we've got terrible.
seventh.
Yeah, mate, we will. We've got terrible fixtures. We play Ipswich. That's the only winnable fixture. You know, like we've got to play Newcastle.
happened?
No,
I'm not saying we're any better, by the way.
our
but
fixtures
what's
are
happened to you?
appalling. I don't think Chelsea will make it. So Freddie's point.
Jackson's back as well.
Freddie's point that Chelsea won't qualify. Half of his point that Chelsea won't qualify. I think he's correct. I think it then becomes a question of Man City, and I actually believe City will, Freddie, and I think Villa will miss out. The part of the reason I think you're going to miss out, by the way, is I think you're going to beat Paris Saint-Germain over 2 legs, and I think that the distraction. I think that the distraction of a European Cup semi-final is going to have an impact on where you finish in the Premier League. I think you could easily end up finishing 6th or 7th, but I do think that City will get there, don't you? Like, Adam, who do you believe will finish in the race for top 5?
I don't think so. I can see that the point was City and Chelsea both miss out in the Champions League.
And
right?
Villa make it.
I think at least one of them makes it.
And
At least one
I
of
think
them.
City will. Do you think Newcastle will?
They're still winning games, aren't they?
They're
They won again
flying,
this
man. Yeah,
weekend.
they're flying.
They're ticking away the games. They are creeping up. Where are Villa at the moment? I've kind of
Villa, I
forgot.
think, a point behind Chelsea
I think Villa make it
and Newcastle.
and City.
And not Newcastle.
Now Newcastle.
Forest, Arsenal. Liverpool.
Newcastle are going to do it.
Newcastle have to do it. They're 5th now, aren't they?
Mate. Newcastle are going to do it.
But then the Champions League could become a distraction for
Villa.
Aston Villa, couldn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
But my
We've
dream
got City
ends
and
the season-
Newcastle back to back.
See, that could also swing in your favour. You kind of look at it as a fan and go, geez, we're not going to make top 4 now because we've got those 2 games. But then you win those 2 games and suddenly you're the favourites.
Do you know what they've done well, Villa? They're at a business end of the season, thinly stretched squad, far in the FA Cup as well. And it isn't the biggest squad in the world, a few injuries.
They added to it in January, which is important.
They bring in Asensio. They bring in Rashford. That is the ambition of a big football club. It's the ambition that Arsenal have we slag off Arsenal for the last 5 years. That's big. Marlon, people wanted Marlon for 50 million quid in the summer.
Mate, do you not just think that the appointment of Unai Emery is part of that?
Of course it is.
Just appointing Unai Emery, off the back of Steven Gerrard as well.
Yeah.
Like, you look at what's happened since Emery went in there.
On some level, I want City to I want City to come first in the Premier League. Of course, it's not going to happen. Based on merit and deserving it, I feel like Newcastle and Villa deserve to be in the Champions League next season. I don't think Chelsea or City do.
I do as well.
Do you know what I mean? I just feel like we're
if we get there, we're limping into it.
Yeah, same here.
Whereas if Newcastle and Villa get there, considering what they've done in other competitions, they will have really earned it.
That's a ringing endorsement for the Premier League, for the managers, for Eddie Howe, and for Unai Emery.
Right, final word, Freddie. Has anything that we've said changed your mind? Who gets 3rd, 4th, 5th?
I think it goes Forest 3rd, Newcastle 4th, us 5th, because we've got everyone back fit for the first time all
City
season.
And Chelsea miss out.
Wow.
What an amazing... that would just be shocking, wouldn't
That'd be great.
It'd kill both
I just
our
don't
clubs.
rate Maresca at all, so I can't see Chelsea doing it.
Nor
And
does Raw.
with City, I think we'll beat them at the Etihad because we bullied them at Villa Park.
Oh, that's big
Huge.
word. Big
Well,
word.
Freddie, we do us a favour. Will you call back after that?
Yeah, I'll call back.
Lovely. Great
Legend,
to talk to you,
Freddie.
sir.
Nice
Thank you, mate.
one.
And good luck tonight.
Cheers.
Yeah, but imagine if we both miss out, Buvey.
That's
Kills
my dream.
both our clubs. Two out of the big
with
6.
Chelsea, but my dream is, I say dream, it's not a dream. My hope is for the rest of the season, we win the Europa, you use that, finish 6th. Because imagine we finish 13th.
It's not out the- it's not
we're
out
in the
the-
Champions League.
I know.
And they're not.
It's possible.
It's
possible.
It's very possible. Shall we speak to Kofi?
Let's
Chelsea fan, yes, sir.
Wait, the information we've been given on this call and the fact he's a Chelsea fan has absolutely thrown me. So I really want to hear
I
what
think
he's
he
got to
means
say.
he means that Drogba's clear, is what I'm guessing.
Oh, okay.
Right, let's hear it, Kofi. Chelsea fan, right?
Yes, sir. How are you guys? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
mate.
yeah,
How are
perfectly,
you?
Thank you.
Good.
Love, mate. Where are you
Yeah.
calling from? You got a wicked accent. Good.
Really? U.S. Philly.
Philly?
Motown
Yeah.
Philly's back
Yes,
again.
sir.
Mate, I'm coming. Chelsea are playing there soon.
Yeah, come. You
I'm
guys should
going.
Come for that. Come for the World Cup. All that. It's gonna be lit.
I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there in
Yes, sir.
June the
Yes, sir.
21st, I think.
It's going to be lit.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Nice.
I'll try to get tickets to that game.
Sensational. So you're a Chelsea fan, can't be over the moon with what you're seeing at the moment.
No, it's absolutely abysmal.
Agreed. But we're going to have a
Absolutely
nostalgic
abysmal.
chat, and you're going to tell me how clear Didier Drogba is of Sergio Aguero.
I wish that's what I was about to say. However, like I was saying, Drogba is my favorite player of all time. I'm of Ghanaian origin, so like growing up seeing Drogba as the end, that was like nostalgic for me. You know, Lampard, John Terry, it was a great time. However, I think what's happening now since Aguero retired, it seems like people kind of forget just how brilliant he was, in my opinion.
Am I being
mean-
trolled? Are we on punked?
He's
No,
City fan.
but here's the funny part.
City fan.
Here's the
Kofi's a
funny
City
part.
fan.
I love it. He's a City fan.
No,
You
not
don't
at
agree
all.
with Rory.
Not at all. But the funny part, this was going to be my first topic of conversation. The reason I brought it up was when I saw that YouTube video and you guys were debating it. I went back and saw one a year before where I think it was Adam and Buvey doing the top 10 Premier League strikers, and Adam puts him 10th. He puts Drogba 10th and Aguero 4th. But then when you guys talk about it the next time, he's like,
Adam makes
"No,
up
the
as he goes
Drogba's
along.
clear."
He's been doing
I'm
it for
like,
15 years.
Wait a second. I'm like, wait a second.
Listen, yeah. If you're going to pull out receipts, you're
Yeah.
not welcome back on this
No,
show.
I like that. Well done, Kofi. Why? I don't understand. I don't understand why a
wrong with
Chelsea
you?
fan has gone out of his
I
way
just
to make this
and
phone
like I'm
call.
saying, Drogba is my favorite player.
It don't
of all
sound
time.
like
You
it,
don't,
mate.
yeah, you don't sound
Don't
like
sound
it.
like it.
He's a
No,
football
you gotta
fan.
be-
He's
you
a
gotta be
football fan.
objective sometimes. Like if somebody's your favorite player, you can still admit Messi and Ronaldo were the best
Exactly.
of our
I wouldn't,
Messi
generation.
and
I wouldn't go
Beckham,
out of my
are you
way
mad?
to make a phone call about it, though.
No, I just think it's interesting because I think Aguero, I don't want to use the word underrated, but it seems these days when it comes to the best Premier League strikers, people forget just how. And there's one. I know you don't like the stats about the goal to ratio. I think that's important for a striker. But even apart from that, I'm sure Buvey remembers. I'm sure you guys remember. Aguero used to be injured a lot, so to still have those numbers, like he would come back like
You know the
second half
thing
of the
with
season.
Drogba and Aguero is
Right.
Manchester United have been on the receiving end of both strikers. Like at crucial times in games and different things like that. But the thing for Drogba was he was just so, like, obviously he did it during a campaign as well, but he was just so clutch in those big moments.
Yeah, I love him.
Like,
I love him.
he was just phenomenal in those moments, and that's where the top, like, it's why we have a discussion about Harry Kane. Is he really as good as
Right,
people say he is? He scores all these goals, but when it comes to a final, he don't turn up. You couldn't say that about Didier Drogba. Like, he did.
That's
And
true, that's true.
he was more than just goals. He bullied defenders. I'd be interested in how many centre-backs played against both, what they would say.
Mate,
And who they feared more.
Yeah.
I think it becomes a question of sometimes I look at football now when they say who's better. Like for me, when they do the Hazard and Salah thing, I always say Eden Hazard. Because for me, better, it's a hard metric, but it's like, I don't know. It's a hard metric. It's a hard metric.
Didier Drogba was the focal point of Chelsea's best ever team.
Right.
And the way that he led the line allowed Duff to become one of the best players in the league that season. It allowed Arjen Robben. It allowed Frank Lampard. There's so many of our goals. Like, you know, if you think about the goal that we scored against Tottenham at Wembley, effectively the ball was just launched into Drogba's chest.
Yeah, that was the.
He took it with his right foot the wrong way and smashed it home with his left foot.
Insane goal.
I've seen anything like it.
Weaker foot. Yeah, that is true.
I've never seen
Insane.
anything like
Any
it.
one-off game, you put Drogba. I think any City fan would say, as a City fan, I'd rather have Drogba in the Champions League final 2021. Prime Drogba
for sure,
when we
for sure.
lost to
Yeah,
Chelsea.
in the
Then
final, yeah, in the
Aguero, if
final
that makes sense. But
Drogba.
if you had to sign someone for 5 years in their prime, it is Aguero. He gets you way more goals, better link-up play. He's a better all-round
I
striker.
don't think he's a better link-up player. I don't think that can be just. I really don't think so.
The word link-up play is different for Drogba because his link-up play is bringing it down, physical. Aguero's link-up play, I'm talking 1-2s round the corner, a bit more
different
diminutive
approach.
styles.
Yeah,
but,
I'd agree with that. Yeah,
but Aguero's a brilliant passer of the ball as well. Like anything around his feet. I mean, technical footballer to the highest level, man.
Kofi,
For me, they're just a
Kofi,
testament of how good of a. Yeah.
I got no issue with the points raised. I've got an issue with you raising them. What are you doing?
Yeah.
No, you know what it is. I was just
If
thinking.
you want to
nostalgic.
debate, Aguero, phone up and debate Aguero. What are you slandering Drogba for on the road to your point?
No, it's because you guys had the video. I think you guys had the video up where you were doing the Drogba Aguero, and then I think you said one is clear. And I'm like, it's pretty close. I mean, if Drogba is above Aguero, it's not like
Clear
one
is outrageous, isn't it? You have to admit
And
that.
I just think it's a testament to how good
You know it
football
is.
we had. That Messi, Ronaldo, we had great strikers. Now you don't really see that anymore. Kind of.
I think Aguero was one of the best finishers the Premier League seen, but Drogba was just.
Drogba's one of the best centre forwards
Yeah.
in terms of like that.
It's a difficult one though.
presence.
They're very different strikers, aren't
Very difficult
Very
because they were so good. They were both so good.
Yeah, agreed. Kofi, let's have a pint in Pennsylvania,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I look forward to
mate.
it.
I will. Yeah, it will be
they? Just
sensational.
don't bring up this chat, yeah.
Yeah, a Chelsea fan.
about something else.
Drogba
I got
isn't
some
close.
other things to
That's
talk
do you know what my
about.
notes say,
I thought-
Kofi? Do you know what my notes say?
What-
It says
what does
it
it
says Kofi, Chelsea fan. Drogba isn't close to Aguero. And
No,
what
no,
I
no,
thought
come on, I
that
didn't
what I
say
thought
that.
that
I
meant
did not
was
say that.
what I thought that meant was that Drogba is so clear of Aguero. I thought that would be your angle. Not Kofi Chelsea fan. Aguero is better than Drogba.
Slightly. That's apples and oranges, but you know. You love
Mate,
them
it's been an honour to talk to you, Kofi. Thank you so much.
We've got Nate, Liverpool fan, next. How are you, mate?
Nate,
That's his surname.
this says exactly what he said.
Yeah, Nate, Gap, Liverpool fan.
Nate, the Liverpool
Fuck
fan.
you, know.
Nate,
Nate, how are you?
Nate
Hello.
Dog. Nate Dog, how are
he
you?
wants to speak to you anyway, Booth.
I'm very good.
Not
Thank
COVID
you.
cup
How's
again.
Good.
everyone?
What's news? What's news, Nate?
It's been quite hard to listen to this podcast the last couple of weeks
Because of
as a
Buvey.
Liverpool fan.
Hmm.
Yes, actually.
All the
specifically
COVID
Buvey.
cut nonsense, isn't it?
I'm playing my violin
Which,
for you, mate.
No, which I'm surprised about because you're very kind to us on your personal channel, but when you come on here, you completely change up.
No, that's not true
It's
at all.
like split
Is that what you do,
personality.
Booth?
That's not true at all.
You're
Is
like
that what
James
he-
McAvoy in
Nate,
Split.
Nate, is that what he does?
Yes, he's very honestly, he's very kind to us on his YouTube.
And then
But
he comes on here.
That's not true.
Yeah,
Showing off in
It
front
is.
of your
Go on,
mates
Nate, what's
for,
your point?
What are
Booth.
you showing off in front of your mates for?
No, go on.
Okay, so I've got two. One about Salah and another about the competition in the league. So first off, about Salah, Buvey, can I first ask you, do you actually think Mahrez and Sterling have a better Premier League legacy than Salah?
You're not even the first. And what about Damien Duff?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I said
look,
this
I'm-
with the
I'm-
previous caller. That Damien
I think
Duff
he said David
doesn't-
Bentley as well.
Yeah, that was a banter. I actually think Riyad Mahrez has got better technical ability and has won 5 times the amount of titles and a European Cup in a treble season. I think Yes, not Sterling, of course not. But I think Riyad Mahrez is a genuine discussion with Salah. I think Salah's closer to Mahrez, whether we agree or not, than Cristiano Ronaldo.
So you think Mahrez has an argument for being having a better legacy because he's got more titles?
No, and then I go into that by saying one of the titles was one of the most famous wins in the history of sport, not football. Leicester City, which he almost single-handedly drove Leicester City. Leicester City, 5,000 to 1 to win in the Premier League.
Earlier you did say that you could take Mahrez out of that team, but you couldn't take Kante.
Kante is more important than Mahrez, for sure, but Mahrez won PFA Player of the Year that season. So, what's Salah done in comparison?
Okay, well, can I say, compared to Salah and Mahrez, you want to talk about legacy. Salah's got more goals, more assists, more golden boots, more playmaker awards, more Premier League records broken, more player of the months, more player of the years, infinitely more GA against the big six, more big chances created.
So you'd rather have player of the month awards, you'd rather have GA, XG, GG, whatever letters you want, versus 5 Premier League titles.
Was he a massive part of all those 5 Premier League titles?
I'd say he was a massive part of Leicester City's win, which is one of the 5. There were 2 seasons back-to-back. He was outrageously good. I'm talking outrageously good. So I'm giving you 3 out of 5, which is 3 times more than Salah.
Okay, well, can I say, for Mahrez's time at City, he played over 2,000 minutes for one of the seasons in the Premier League, which, by the way, if you do the maths on that, that means about half of Premier League football.
Oh, that's the one I didn't mention. Yes, one I didn't mention.
No, but one season in his entire time at City, he played more than 2,000 minutes.
How about this? I take away all the City wins, which include FA Cups, which include far more domestic success than Salah's ever achieved. Also, a similar amount of European Cups. I'll take all of that out of the argument with you. The Leicester City legacy is better than Salah. Salah won the Premier League title in front of 0 fans. Mahrez won it in the most famous fashion in the history of football.
I agree that Leicester itself is a bigger achievement than anything Salah's done, but that is a bigger achievement than what pretty much any team's ever done. But I don't see how you can use that as just an individual player when you're comparing Mahrez to Salah.
He won PFA Player of the Year award that season, and his goals contributed towards Leicester being 5,000 to 1, and they won the Premier League. Leicester City.
I know it's a very impressive achievement, but everything I've named to you. What Salah has more in terms of record, he holds more records.
Yeah, personal records, fine. But what about? It's a team sport. We're not playing tennis, are we? We're not doing marathon running. It's like it's a team sport.
For you.
Oh yeah, but it's a team sport. Is it not a team sport?
No, I'm sorry. You look at a player. You look at a player who's the 5th highest Prem scorer of all time. He's also in the top 10 of Premier League assists of all time. Only Lampard and Rooney are in both lists.
And they got better Premier League legacies. Yeah.
Yeah. So only Lampard and Rooney are in the same list of top 10 goals and top 10 assists, and you're comparing him to Mahrez. Not even Ronaldo. We're not even sitting here talking. Why aren't we talking about Ronaldo?
Because Ronaldo's one of the greatest players I've ever seen in my life as a Premier League fan, let alone a Man City fan, and he's also largely considered the greatest player in the history of football, if not top 5 guaranteed by every football fan in the entire world. Salah's not even top 50, bro.
Top 50?
No. What, of all time in football? No, it doesn't get anywhere near top 50 of all time in football. No.
Well, that's, I mean,
Kante,
are you
what about
including
Kante? Is Kante the top 50
Oh,
of
yeah,
all time
that's true,
football?
actually, yeah.
Is he?
Well, I've thrown some arguments out there. I'm still not hearing. I'm hearing the COVID Cup versus what Mahrez did at Leicester City. Then you had 4 Premier League titles on top.
COVID Cup. Why do you call it a COVID Cup?
So you won the Premier League title while COVID was happening.
How many points clear were we going into COVID?
Had you won the Premier League before COVID or after COVID?
You've done this conversation earlier, and the geezer done you.
Our team's conventionally 20 points clear and then don't win the league.
Apart from Newcastle,
there have been big upsets before when
Hey,
you
mate,
haven't
can
gone
I
to
ask
win.
you a question? This is what you should say to Buvey now. You should say, the following year, when Man City won the league, how many games were played behind closed doors that season?
Ask
That's
him
interesting.
And ask, does that make Manchester City the COVID Cup winners as well?
You ask him in your own words.
Yeah, you ask me, mate, and then I'll give you an answer.
Well, I'll take. Yeah, fine. I've got a similar point to that actually. Not about COVID because I think that's a very tired argument now. But if I actually can talk about move on to a different book because I know I'm quite rushed for time in a way.
Got somewhere better to be, have you?
No, well, no. I assume it will be. I assume I'll only have about 5 more minutes.
No, you chat to Booth, mate. You got a night. You enjoy it. You chat to Booth. Me and Adam, go for pizza.
Chilling.
Oh, perfect. Oh, perfect. Well, can I say there was another thing you mentioned in that episode last week where you talked about Liverpool haven't played anyone this year, and you said, "Oh, Nottingham Forest are in the top 3." So do you think that diminishes our achievement this year that we haven't really played anyone? In your words.
If you win the Premier League with 74 points or 100 points, it doesn't make a difference. It's one Premier League title. You've crossed the line. You've won the Premier League. When I say to Liverpool fans, you've been absolutely fantastic this season. You're not a generational side. You've not won a treble. You've not got 100 points. You've not won back-to-back titles. Maybe you do that next season. Then you become a generational side. The Man United sides that have won back-to-back titles, the Man City ones, the Chelsea ones from the middle 2000s, they're generational sides because they achieve things at the highest level in the sport. If you break a world record at the Olympics, it makes you Usain Bolt. There's a lot of great athletes we forget about, unfortunately, because they haven't hit the heights of the sport in the same way. You're not a generational side right now. You're not going to get a massive points total. You're not going to win the League Cup. You got battered in the final. Battered. Got battered by PSG, and you lost to Plymouth Argyle from the Championship in the FA Cup. It's not a generational side.
You lost to Wigan in Centurion season.
That season. Let me
Put that in your pipe, son.
What happened in the League Cup final? City won a double that season, got 100 points in the Premier League. Thanks very much.
Tired legs, thank you. We can't spend 500 million on squad depth every year.
Look, are you an accountant? I'm not a trained accountant. I don't know about the money. What we all spend money, do we not? What, a Liverpool charity?
Can I say actually? No, we're not a charity.
No, you spent 150 million on Van Dijk and Alisson.
Yeah, so 2 signings, brilliant. Can I say though that I'm not saying we're a generational side. I don't think we've been like generational this year. Absolutely not. What I'm asking is, do you think the fact that, in your words, we haven't played anyone, it diminishes the achievement of winning the Premier League this year?
I sorry to jump in here. I know it's between you. Whenever you win the league, it's a great season. It's an unbelievable.
But they're better
season.
than others.
Yes, of course.
99 is better than 94 or 93, isn't it? There's some. I don't remember Pellegrini as much.
No, of course. There's
Do you know
some
what I mean?
seasons where they're not great sides, or they're not.
Yeah, all
phenomenal.
animals are equal, but some are more equal than others.
Yeah.
But winning the league,
Noah's
it's why I
Ark and
don't
all
get
that.
people giving them digs for the Champions League and that. If you can guarantee me a trophy every year, it has to be the Premier League.
Yeah. So okay, fine. Can I ask a question again? Buvey, do you stand by we've played no one? We haven't played anyone.
You've played some decent sides. You've played a City side that have been terrible. Chelsea side been terrible. Spurs bottom half. Man United bottom half. Arsenal scared stiff. You got banged by PSG that never win ever in England. They never win in England. It's terrible, their record in England. You got banged at Anfield. Then you lost to Plymouth Argyle. Plymouth Argyle. You got banged by Plymouth Argyle. So what am I meant to do? You lost to Newcastle. By the way, Newcastle United haven't won a cup in 100 years. There wasn't television last time they won a cup. Yeah, and you got banged by Newcastle in the League Cup final. You did. You got banged. So what can I say?
Well,
I'm an observer, bro. I couldn't care. I observe what happens. You got banged.
Okay, well, can I say about how you're listing how our teams have been bad this year? Can I move on to your beautiful coveted treble winning year, please? And
Go for it. Yeah.
Okay. Arsenal spent their last 2.5 months with Rob Holding at centre back, and they had a goalkeeper that you yourself have deemed a championship level keeper. Man United ran a 48-hour title race until they held 7 to yours truly and surrendered.
But they were better than your current United side, right? That you played this year. That United side was better. Liverpool had Jurgen Klopp.
I'm still going. Liverpool were awful, and believe me, I know. Spurs came 8th. Chelsea came 12th. Part of your justification for this being a bad league was that Forest are 3rd. Well, in your treble year, Brighton, Villa, and Newcastle all finished in the top 7.
What about Real Madrid? Talk to me about Real Madrid.
Yeah. So actually,
Inter Milan.
I'm going on. I'm moving on to your Champions League year actually. So, Bayern Munich ended up winning their Farmers League on goal difference. So that's who you play in the quarterfinals.
So you're saying beating Bayern in the quarterfinals of the Champions League is just a joke? Is it? It's a joke. It's a joke.
No, it's
fixture.
not a joke. It's absolutely not a joke. But if you want to talk about the quality of the sides, I can do the same thing.
You can. You literally can.
Checkmate.
You spoke about Real Madrid.
You lost to Plymouth Argyle the same season you're referring to. Man City beat Manchester United in the first ever Manchester Derby FA Cup final convincingly with one of the earliest goals ever scored. You got banged by Plymouth Argyle. These guys are making cider instead of playing football matches in Plymouth. They know how to make Somerset Appleby cider, bro. You got banged by Plymouth. They're gonna get relegated into League One. It's not my fault. It's not my fault.
I'm going to sit there and talk about your Centurion season and say you lost to Wigan.
Yes.
Yeah, and then we won the
What-
double against Arsenal. We won a double against Arsenal. That's better than what you're going to do this season. You can't win a double this season.
Brilliant. Because moving back onto your treble, yeah, you talked about Real Madrid. They finished their season trophy. Real Madrid. Real Madrid finished their season.
We somehow got a
trophyless
guy
that
on the show saying that beating Real Madrid 4-0 in the semi-final of the Champions League is a joke result. I can't believe it.
No, it's
but,
not a joke result.
But,
It's
Nate,
weird, though.
you've done me there, mate.
He's
You've
actually
me.
done up.
You've
Nate
had me
Dogs,
done
you
me.
smashed him.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Inter Milan that you played in the final finished 18 points off first.
So if it's
Oh,
easy,
sorry,
Why
Yeah,
wasn't
Nate.
Lukaku being a donkey? To
if it's easy, why haven't Liverpool been in the Champions League this season then? You got banged by PSG. It's not my fault, bro.
PSG
Bro.
this year beat any team you played that season.
I literally don't know what you're talking about. But look, thanks very much for calling, bro. I really
I
appreciate
thought you were
it.
great, Nate. Thank you very
Go
much.
on, Nate.
Thank you very
The
much.
day belongs to you.
Cheers.
Mate, ring back. You're welcome anytime, sir. He's gone.
Thank you,
There we
mate.
go.
Thanks, Nate.
Thank
Nate
you
and
to
the Postie are my
everybody.
favourites, mate.
Nate and the post office. They had you done.
Hope that wasn't too passive aggressive. Am I wrong? Plymouth Argyle versus Real Madrid. That's what we're talking about, bro. Plymouth Argyle, they get banged.
Mate, do you know
Real
that-
Madrid, it's shit. What world are we living in?
Mate, that was amazing,
Bro.
That was amazing. Right, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. It's been emotional, and we look forward to speaking to you next week on the Club Call-In Show. Just click the link in the description below, join our Discord, and we'll see y'all then.